My name is Natalie Smerkanich, and today we will be going over the art of today, art in the age of Instagram. So, this period of art that we are currently in is known as art in the age of Instagram, and this is still considered to be a part of contemporary art. Social media has greatly influenced our society, as many of you know, through your Instagram accounts, including the way we produce, consume, and market art. There are a couple of ways that art in the age of Instagram is defined. It is temporary, it is interactive, and it is Instagrammable. So that first part is that it's all about marketing, branding, and whimsical products that can be effectively posted on social media. There are a lot of museums that we'll be looking at today that participate in this trend, wherein cameras are encouraged and allowed into museums, waiting in line so that exclusivity is a part of the experience, and the time that you have there is also limited. That part of exclusivity of only a few people get the chance to experience really defines a lot of this art in the age of Instagram. So the first example of art in the age of Instagram is the Museum of Ice Cream. So the Museum of Ice Cream was created by a 25-year-old creative strategist who is not an artist. Her name is Mary Ellis Bunn. And Bunn was working in New York City and had really grown tired of the typical things that people her age did. So she wanted to create a new activity for people in her age group to participate in. So originally, the Museum of Ice Cream was located in New York City, and now there are multiple locations. The museum doesn't really have any displays or any educational content. It just has a few random facts about ice cream and its ingredients, and that's kind of it. But mainly, what people come to do is take pictures of themselves. So when we look at an example like this, we look at the video of the Museum of Ice Cream. Is this art? And why or why not? And this is something to just consider as we move through this presentation. Is this the same experience as going to another museum? Or is this not really art at all? Something to consider. So in 2018, the Museum of Ice Cream announced a new partnership with Target, where they designed and collaborated on food items as well as a kids' clothing line inspired by the Museum of Ice Cream. So something to consider as you go about this lesson is looking critically at these collaborations. And does it change your mind about whether this is art or not, that they collaborated with a large chain store? Or what does this tell you about art today? That it's something that can be marketed at a store like Target. So next we'll be looking at Yayoi Kusama. She is a very prolific artist. She's an 88-year-old Japanese artist and writer who is part of the abstract pop feminist movement. She's known for her interactive art events, and in one event she had naked participants walk around with giant polka dots painted on their body as an experiential art experience. She's been working as an artist for decades, and her art easily connects with this experiential art of the age of Instagram. Like the Museum of Ice Cream, Kusami's work are very popular with celebrities. So this is another one piece of her artwork with those polka dots. Here is her infinity room, and this is where we see that her work is very popular with celebrities such as Katy Perry and regular people who post images of themselves and her art on Instagram. So because she encourages the people who come to her installations to take pictures and post them, is there any difference between her work and the Museum of Ice Cream? Are there any parallels between taking your photo in an experiential art experience and sharing it and making that very much an exclusive experience. When the Infinity Room was in Los Angeles at LACMA, it was incredibly hard to get tickets to go see it. And then they also had another one at the Broad, and they were very limited tickets as well. So that having the limited amount of tickets does make it more special to get inside because you know that you're getting experience that someone else isn't. Next, we're going to look at Emoji Nation by Nastia Pichek. So Nastia is a Ukrainian artist and graphic designer who takes famous works of art and updates them with emojis and other symbols of hyper-connected, social media saturated world, whether that be tweets above their head or, as we see in this image, the three dots that she's thinking about what to say next. Emoji Nation is her best known project, and the images on the slide are from this project. And while this is not typical Instagrammable art, it is clear that her work is really heavily influenced by social media. So when we look at this art, and as we go through a couple more slides of her work, I'd like you to think, does adding an emoji or another message make this technically her work of art? Or is she commenting more on society or the paintings themselves? A lot of the paintings that she works from are older Renaissance paintings or maybe lesser known paintings. And is she commenting on those paintings or our society right now? One other element is, do you like this? Is this art? Is adding something that brings this into the more current age art? Or is it more, does it make it more relevant? Something to think about as you're looking at her pieces of art. Next, we'll be looking at Instagrammable tourist destinations. So many businesses and other places can generate a lot of free press about their building and about their brand and have attention paid to those buildings by having eye-catching and Instagrammable images on their building. A lot of these Instagrammable spots have now become their own tourist destination. One of those is the Pink Wall in LA. This is located on Melrose Ave in West Hollywood. I have been here quite a few times. And I swear one time I was there and someone had brought a horse to take a picture against the Pink Wall. So it is seen as somewhere to go and have, a photo taken in a famous spot. It shows that you're in LA and that you've made it there, which can be really cool if you're international. So I'm wondering how many of you have ever visited a place because you saw it on Instagram or because it was Instagrammable? And are these walls art? Are they art because they can be creative and they can be used creatively when you take pictures in front of them? Or are they simply just beautiful walls? So something to think about as we go along is what is art, and can public walls that are, maybe just one shade of pink, are they art? So one thing to consider is the experience and the photography of this age of Instagram. And does the experience and taking photos of that experience make it art? So, what do you think about this trend? Do you think this trend will last? Would you rather go to a traditional museum or would you rather have an interactable, Instagrammable museum? Something to consider as we look at the two images here are the Museum of Illusions, which are, once again, this museum is created specifically to take photos in. And is it art? Is it somewhere you'd like to go? Would you like to go to these Instagrammable museums, and why? Would you like to share your experience of being there, or have fun taking creative photos? And what about that makes it art?